April 13th, 2017. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 124 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So welcome back, Mike.
Thank you.
Had your trip to Washington, D.C.
Yes,
and,
very nice trip.
You hit MGM National Harbor, so we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, that was it. We have a good report.
Good, excellent. All right. Well, but actually, before you left for MGM National Harbor, and it was after we had recorded our last show,
right,
we went out to Harrah's Rincon, Harrah's, Southern California. And listener Eric, our friend Eric, was going to meet us out there, and I had, texted him back and forth. So anyway, we headed out there, and as soon as you and I got to the casino, I texted him, said, "Okay, Eric, we're here. We're going to go get our free play and our food, the free food they give us.
Our weekly errands.
Right, and do all that, and then we'll catch up with you at the craps table afterwards." Right. Well, as it turns out, Eric had brought a friend of his who was also a listener, his friend Larry. And they were sitting at a blackjack table when we had arrived. And I guess we walked right past them. We just didn't see Eric there.
Yeah, we didn't see him.
We walked right past. And so Eric pointed us out to Larry, said, "Oh, that's Mark and Dr. Mike." And Larry looks at me and says, "Well, I work with that guy."
It's so steely.
and so Eric texts me, "Yeah, I brought a friend. Larry says he works with you." And I'm thinking, what? Because I've thought, well... Sometimes I've sat at my desk at work and thought, gosh, I wonder if anybody who works here listens to the show.
Right.
Think, well, of course not, right? If they did, then they
would probably come up.
They'd come up
right.
And hey, I heard your show. So
he doesn't like you, is what it is.
That's probably what it is. Oh, great, right?
Yeah.
I know that guy. I work with that guy. I'm out of here. Well, so anyway, we met up with him at the craps table, and sure enough, Larry, I work with this guy. We're in meetings together, right? We don't really work that closely, but right. I mean, we've been in meetings together.
You've seen each other.
Yeah, sure. And it's funny because he said that when I go to these meetings, there's very little that I need to be there for, but I sit for the whole thing. So
right.
I usually have my phone out.
You're usually running a craps program.
It's not
phone.
That bad, but I'm not doing work. I'm trying to keep myself busy. So anyway, on the back of my iPhone holder, it's a picture of a craps table.
Right.
And Larry even said he'd be sitting in that meeting and looking at me and thinking, "Oh, craps, I sure wish I could be playing craps right now. That's good."
Now, what's funny is he never came up to you and said something like, "Oh, I see you have a craps thing. Do you like craps?"
Yeah, never mentioned anything. My name's Mark. And it's funny because afterwards, the following Monday, after we met up at the casino, the following Monday we're in a meeting together, and I'm talking about something, and he said he's thinking to himself, "How did I not recognize Mark's voice?" Right? I am a little bit different at work.
Right.
I'm quite a bit different.
You're more reserved at work.
I'm not nearly as animated when I'm at work.
But your voice probably doesn't change at work.
Not too much, I wouldn't think. Probably not too much. But anyway, that was really funny because, so Larry, he played craps with us, and we had
I think we had a losing night, but it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't too bad. But anyway, so great. So we got a new listener. Well, no, he was already a listener to the show, but now we've got a new companion at least to meet up with at
right,
Harrah's, Southern California.
So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
so
right. And so now, when we see each other in the hall or we go to the meetings, usually afterwards, we stop and chat about, how it went over the weekend or,
right.
Some...
Well, it's a typical thing where you don't expect somebody to be in that situation.
Yeah, right.
And so you don't even think about that, right?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
like when patients see me out and about. They'll be standing right next to me and, not recognize me.
Right, not even think, "Oh, do I know him?" Or,
right,
it just doesn't.
Because without the jacket and
right.
and in the setting, they don't know.
The setting,
right?
sure, yeah, exactly, yeah. Anyway, that was pretty funny. This last week on Netflix, there was a new movie that came out that's now streaming called Win It All. Did you watch this, Mike?
No, I did not.
I actually watched it. It is a new movie starring Jake Johnson, who is best known for playing Nick on the TV show New Girl. You know who he is, right? He and New Girl are kind of in an on-again
right.
relationship.
With one of those weird
Nick.
relationships,
yeah. Anyway, it's this movie. It's a story of a compulsive gambler who loses a bunch of money that doesn't belong to him.
Okay.
It's listed as a comedy, but it's not a laugh-out-loud comedy. It's more of like an indie comedy. The acting and the dialogue's very realistic, and at times it's extremely stressful as he deals with these gambling losses, right?
Yeah.
So
Hits too close to home.
sometimes, yeah, right, exactly. It's like, oh my God, what's he going to do? The movie's okay. It's the gambling scenes were, I thought, very realistic. There's not much of them. Like, a lot of it's poker, and you don't. It's not like you sit on a single hand of poker for 30 seconds. It's like jumping from hand to hand,
right?
But everything that's going on seems reasonable, right? They don't do the typical poker things in movies that don't make any sense.
He doesn't have a straight flush that loses to a rough flush.
There's nothing like that. And again,
like
you don't even really see a lot of hands. There's more like you just hear dialogue like, "Oh, I filled up," or I made the nuts flush on the river. Just stuff like that. Anyway, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I definitely thought it was better than the recent remake of The Gambler, starring Mark Wahlberg. Did you see that?
I did not see that. I've seen The Gambler, the original.
The original with James Caan?
Right, but not the remake.
Yeah. The remake wasn't all that good. Anyway, I would recommend it. Check it out. And my wife watched it with me, and she's not a gambler, and she enjoyed it. And it is funny. There are funny parts, and there's some romance to it.
Well, that actor, Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, now, I don't know him personally, and I just know him basically from New Girl.
Right.
But doesn't he seem like a gambler?
Yes.
I mean, his personality, if somebody said, oh, yeah, he's a heavy gambler, just having watched him, I'd think, oh, yeah, I can see that.
Well, he co-wrote the screenplay with the director.
Okay. So he obviously has some gambling knowledge.
Yeah. So
it's interesting. It's funny to, to look at somebody and kind of think, oh, they're a gambler or they're not. But it seems like I'm pretty good at that. I don't know what it is.
You can spot it.
Yeah, I can spot it.
Gambling dar.
Yeah. I'm an idiot savant is what I am.
But yeah, check it out. Well, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think listeners probably will too. I hate to, make big recommendations about movies or TV because everybody's got different tastes, of course.
Sure,
but,
of course.
It definitely has an independent film feel to it.
Right.
So, but we enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's on Netflix.
Right. All right, so in the last few episodes, we've been talking about casino credit, and we got an email from listener Kevin, who was recommending something called VIP Preferred. And I'm going to read a little bit of his email here. I'm a big proponent of the VIP Preferred e-check cashing service. Once you're signed up, you just go to the cage, present your ID, and you can withdraw money from your checking account much like an ATM card. But the limit is significantly higher, typically without a fee. And in fact, Kevin says he's never come across a Vegas casino that charged a fee.
That's great.
You sign up for this program. Yeah. He says it's basically easy access to your bank account without having to carry a bunch of cash into the casino. An added benefit is that you only have to sign up once and you can use it at any participating casino, unlike applying for credit where you have to do so at every casino where you might want to take out a marker. There are hundreds of casinos across the country that honor VIP Preferred. And yeah, Mike, I went to their website and almost every casino you could think of was listed on there.
Right.
Yeah, including Harrah's Southern California by us.
Really?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Now, they don't tell you that when you sign up for a marker.
Well, it's different from credit. Because, well, let me continue with his email and then we'll talk about it. It says, once you take out cash at the casino, the funds are withdrawn from your linked checking account, supposedly on the next business day. But in my experience, it's typically taken a few days for the debit to appear. So this is really like cashing a check or going.
Right. No, it's like going to the ATM.
It's going to the ATM
without getting a fee. You're just withdrawing your own money.
Right. And like he said, you generally can get more money than you could if you just went to the ATM.
Right. There's daily
usually
limits.
Can be a higher amount. So the upside of this, definitely sign up once and you can use it wherever this is honored, this VIP Preferred. And like I said, it seems like it's lots of places. The downside is, now again, like I said, it's not credit. It's like you said, going to an ATM. So money is withdrawn from your account the next business day. And as a result, you can't immediately pay it back like you could a marker.
Right.
Right. So, like,
you'd have to go to the bank the next day and make a deposit.
You'd have to make a deposit. Right. And that's the other thing, too. You're actually going to the cage and getting cash, although they could probably give you chips.
Right.
But it's not like you can do this at the table.
Right.
At the table, you can ask for a marker. They do it right there.
Right.
So this definitely is different. This is not credit. This is just like a better way to use an ATM.
Right. Well, it has its pluses and its minuses. For one thing, it's nice. The plus is you don't have to carry a bunch of money.
Yes.
And you don't have to deal with a casino, basically. You're basically dealing with your bank,
right.
As far as the transaction of money. The casino's just kind of intermediary. The negative side would be it'd be way easy to go through your bank account.
Yes, I guess so. I mean, but again, there's a limit. The casino also has, or this program, the VIP Preferred, also has a limit.
Now, does that limit change based on money in your account?
I don't think so. I think, you basically set a limit just like you would with credit at a casino, although you can call and have them adjust your limit.
Right.
And
but I mean, if your limit was 10,000 and for whatever reason your account dropped to 8,000, you wanted to withdraw 10, would they have a way of knowing, or would they just say, okay, 10, and then you're overdrawn?
I don't know. I didn't investigate it that far. Yeah, I'm not sure. But it's like credit too. You got to be careful what you do, right? When it becomes too easy to do it.
Right, of course.
So, yeah.
But I wonder if there's, some kind of lower limit than a casino. A casino might give you 10,000 and they have a month grace period, right? But with this kind of thing, there's no grace period. It's going to be deducted right away. So you have to have funds available. You would think the limits would be quite a bit lower.
It probably is. And one of the things I didn't mention too is that even though they withdraw the money the next business day, it's still 7 days. There's like a 7-day waiting period before you can withdraw all the way up to your limit. So if you take out like $500, let's say your limit is $2,000.
Okay.
And you take out $500 on Monday.
Right.
That $500 is withdrawn from your account on Tuesday, but you only have access to $1,500 until the next Monday.
Till the next Monday.
Yeah, so there's that period too where...
So if you were in Vegas and you were going to multiple casinos, you could get 500 this one, 500 there. The next one you want to get, say, 1,500, you can't do it.
Correct.
Because you could only get 1,000.
Correct.
And if you blew through all that and you go to a fifth casino and you're like, oh, I want to get some money, you're done.
Well, supposedly they do have a 24-hour, 7 days a week line that you can call, and you could have your limit increased.
I gotcha.
So there is a way around, and they'd have to approve it, of course.
Right.
So, I imagine there's some way where they can, check the funds. So, again, this is a different thing. Like you said, pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
And
well,
it
I
is
do
something
like
different.
it because it's your own money, so and you know what's in your account.
Sure.
So if you're responsible enough.
Anyway, something you might want to look into.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so Matty Dubs on Twitter was asking about parlaying bets in craps. He had heard us talk about parlays before and wanted us to maybe talk a little bit about that and explain what that is. So just real quick, there are basically two ways that you can increase your bet at the craps table. You can press your bet or you can parlay your bet. And both happen when you've actually won the bet and you want to increase it.
Right.
Typically. So when you want to press your bet, that usually means double your bet. So if you've got $6, if you've got a $6 place bet on the 6 and a 6 comes up and you say press, the dealer he'll
pay you $7. He'll leave 6 of it out there. So you have a $12 bet and he'll give you the buck.
Right. Exactly. That's a press. You can press different amounts, but usually if you just say press, it means double whatever
bet.
I had out there.
If you have a larger bet, let's say you had $30 and you just wanted to press it 6 and you wanted to go to 36, you could say press my bet up 1 unit.
Yeah.
If you had started with $6, he would know that's $6.
Right. Or you can just say press it $6.
Or press it $6.
It's an increase.
Yeah.
Now a parlay though, what that pretty much always means is if I say parlay, then I want you to take all of the winnings from that bet and put it back onto the bet.
Right. Stack it up. Basically, stack it all up.
Right. So if you've got $1 on the hard 6 and a hard 6 comes up, they will pay you $9. It's 9-1. But if you say parlay, they'll just put that $9 on top of the dollar that's already out there, and now you've got $10.
Now you got a $10.
Right.
When that hits, you're going to get $100. You say parlay again. You're going to get 90. You put the 90 on. Now you got a $100 bet. That's the way to do it.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Mike. That's for somebody who started with $1. Yeah,
right.
All right. Well, I don't recommend that, but Dr. Mike.
Well, when your good friend rolls 4 hard 6s in a row.
Yeah, that's true. It can happen.
It can happen, right?
So that's all a parlay is, and betting on craps and any other kind of table games. Anytime you hear a parlay, it usually means take everything I just won and throw it back onto the wager.
You do have to be a little careful because sometimes people want to increase their bet and they just say parlay that because they've heard it in a movie or something, right? And then it all stays out there and they're like, well, wait a minute, I didn't want to go that high.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to know to say press or parlay.
Right. Say you've got like $1 on boxcars, 6-6, right? And it comes up. Well, that pays 30-1. So they'll give you you $30, or you can say parlay, and now you've got 31 out there. Yeah, a lot of times people are thinking, oh no, I want to at least get some of that back.
Yeah, they want $2 on it for the next one, right?
Which would be a press, I guess.
Which would be a press. Yeah. The best thing to do, especially if you're just starting out, is just always make it real clear to the dealer what you want.
Yes.
So you don't have to say press or parlay. Just say, oh, give me $2 on it now.
Right.
Or give me $3 on it now. Or, just whatever number you want to put on.
As long as you're clear, because sometimes you say, give me $2, and it's, oh, you want to press it $2? No, I want $2 total.
Right. Yeah.
Just be clear. Just be clear when you're out there.
There's a lot of semantics involved in craps.
Yep. All right. So, Dr. Mike, tell us about your trip.
Well, we were in Washington, D.C. for a week, and we did all the, sightseeing stuff and everything. But on Wednesday night, which worked out great because it was kind of in the middle of the trip. So we were pretty tired already from, being on the go for the first half. And so we went back to the hotel room early, and I went out to MGM National Harbor.
Good.
Alex, who is head of marketing out there at MGM, set me up with a car, which was great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he sent a driver out to pick me up at our hotel.
How do you know you?
Well, from our show.
Oh, nice.
From the show. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So, so he arranged everything. He was excellent. I mean, when I got there, when I first bought in the table, he appeared right away and talked to me and everything. Super nice guy.
Oh, good.
Very, very friendly. It was a good atmosphere. Good. The driver came and picked me up, but of course it was like, I think 4:45 by the time I got in the car.
Okay.
And of course, we're in this Washington, D.C. traffic, which is like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So getting to the casino, which is 11 miles from the hotel, it took like an hour and a half.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was just brutal.
Yeah,
and the freeway's packed. He went down side streets. He went through back streets in Alexandria to get there and stuff. He knew what he was doing.
Okay.
But it just, everywhere, there was tons of traffic.
Yeah.
But a very great driver, very nice. We had a long talk because we had plenty of time to talk.
Yeah.
So anyway, got there and, checked it out. It's a nice casino, really nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
It's not as big, the casino, as I thought it would be.
Well, reports from listeners we've gotten have said that it's tight.
Yeah.
Right? Did you get that impression that it was kind of...
Yeah, it's a little tight.
Okay.
I would say that. But by the craps table, it wasn't.
Okay. All
and
right.
I love where the craps tables are because they're right next to the cashier.
Nice. Good.
So how I love that. I love to be able to just walk right to the cashier.
Yeah.
Yeah, the craps table didn't feel that tight. I did notice in some of the slot areas, they were pretty tight.
Okay.
But very beautiful inside.
Yeah.
All the restaurants and stuff are separate from the casino area. Mm-hmm. So you could come, stay with your kids, and never go in the casino.
Oh, that's good.
You would just be... There would be no reason because the hotel and the restaurants are kind of separate from the actual casino. What else can I say? The crews were friendly. Now, they had 9 craps tables.
Yeah.
And there were $25 and $50 tables, and there might have been 100. I don't remember.
So 25 was the lowest?
25 was the lowest.
Gosh, we heard reports of that when it first opened, and we thought it would have dropped by now, but they must... Was it crowded?
Yes, and it was.
Oh,
there were a lot of people.
Yeah, that explains it,
There were a lot. There were way more people than I thought.
For a Wednesday night,
For
right?
a Wednesday
night. Can
night.
imagine what the weekends are like.
Like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Yeah. We're on a $25 table, and it's full.
Yeah.
So one of our listeners, Ethan, met me right away. I mean, I had only been there for a few minutes. So he was talking to me, and we were playing at this table. It was going pretty well at first. It was a $25 table and actually was up right away. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of turned cold and, was getting to where I was thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to have to buy in more money. Mm-hmm. So I decided to switch.
Okay.
And I went over to a $50 table because there were only a couple guys playing there.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I'll give it a try. Mm-hmm. Ethan was just kind of watching anyway. So I a couple of rolls, not much was happening. And then Kyle from Due for a Win showed up.
Yeah.
And so there was one guy on the other side of the table. He had just finished his roll. So the dice were coming to me. Mm-hmm. Kyle shows up and he buys in. And I said, can he roll? Because it would have technically been my roll. But I said, can he roll? Yeah. Oh, sure. So,
good. Mm-hmm.
They let him roll. And he had a great roll. Now, I know on his show, he kind of downplayed it, I think, a little bit. But he had a great roll. Nice. I mean, he would have won the fire bet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he would have won 4 on the fire. He made 5 points total.
I see. Okay.
I think he repeated the 6 or 8.
Okay.
And he was on his 5th number when he 7'd out. He'd actually come out on his 5th number, which was like a 9 or something.
But no fire bet there.
But no fire bet there. Okay, no, they have the all tall, all small.
Okay, yeah.
So... anyway, he had a great roll. And it wasn't so much the 5 points he made. It was that he was rolling numbers like crazy.
Nice.
And a lot of hard ways.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Yeah, very good for me. At the end of his roll, I'm up for the casino.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but like $500-$600. And I'm thinking, oh, great. I'm back to even, and I actually have money to play with. I think during his roll, I had put $25 on the hard 6 for him and for Ethan, because Ethan was standing next to me, and it hit.
Nice.
So they got that money. So now Ethan had a stake. And so he said, well, okay, I'm going to play. So he puts a bet out there for his roll. And he proceeded to win the all tall, all small, make them all.
All of them.
All of them.
Man, that's bet, Mike.
Yeah, I know. And that just shot me up like crazy.
Sure, of course, yeah.
I think I had 15, 15, 15 on that one.
Yeah.
So, that shot me up like crazy. Now, they do have the lower payouts on that all tall, all small.
So like 150 to 1 on make them all.
Okay,
so the lower payouts,
the little lower payouts.
Yeah.
But hey, when you hit it, it's still a lot of money.
Sure.
And so at that point, we're just, it's great. We're all really happy and high-fiving. And he made a lot of numbers too. I mean, not just the all tall, all small. He made a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
So at the end of his roll, I was up a substantial amount of money.
Great.
So then, right after Ethan rolls, I'm getting ready to roll, and Carl shows up, another listener. And, he buys in. And, of course, typical, after 2 big, huge rolls, they were not so good at rolls.
Oh, so
I rolled, I made 2 or maybe 3 numbers and 7'd out, no points. And the next couple shooters didn't do so well either. So Carl, he got there maybe a half hour late, maybe 45 minutes late. If he'd been there 45 minutes earlier, we would have all been winners.
Oh, boy.
So then he decided to go, and then Kyle said he was, getting ready to go. And I think at that time it was like 10 o'clock or...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when you texted me, but
might have been like 10:30. So I was thinking, well, I got to leave by 11 because I want to get back by
Sure,
midnight.
you're going to be tired, and you've got probably big plans for the next day, right?
Exactly.
So,
we were going to get up early and go to the Well, actually, we went to the White House the next morning and toured that. And I was thinking, God, it might take an hour to get home, right? I better leave at 11. So anyway, the crew there was wonderful.
Good.
I mean, great dealers, friendly, nice.
Oh, good.
No bad experience at all. Nothing like, when we're downtown and we go to Binion's and they're kind of pissy and mean. And, I mean, these guys were professionals and no screw ups.
That's great. I mean, that's what we've talked about. Right. Win or lose, that's the most important thing to us.
I mean, I was happy because they were very friendly and nice. And, I mean, there was no arguments or dilemmas.
Yeah.
And the pit people were extra nice. I thought they were very nice. Talking to you the whole time, chatting, not just about craps, just about all kinds of stuff. So that was excellent. I give them high ratings on that.
So really, the only downside is, and this doesn't affect you too much, but just it's too expensive. Right?
Yeah,
it's just as a casino goes, it's a very expensive casino.
And I imagine that'll change.
Maybe eventually.
But if you were on, if you're a $5 craps player and you've got a couple $100, you can't play there. It's just, $25 tables. It just goes too fast.
Yeah.
But that'll probably change with time and maybe not. I mean, they were pretty full.
Yeah,
so,
it might be a while.
if people are going to go, why would they change?
Yeah.
So anyway, about 11, I decided to go. The guys all left and it was great meeting everybody. Very, very nice. So I get in the car. This is a funny thing. So they said, when you're ready to go, just call this number. I called the number. Guy comes up, picks me up. Another different guy, super nice, super nice. We chatted the whole way home. And we pull out of the parking lot and you get on a freeway. I don't know which one, but we get on the freeway and look, and right in front of me, I can see like the Washington Monument and the Capitol building. And I'm like, well, I can see that. How far away are we? The guy's like, well, you're like 10, 11 miles away. And I'm thinking, why did it take an hour and a half to get here? That is terrible traffic. We got home in like 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So when I walked in, Lynn's like, oh, you're back pretty early. She's expecting me like at 1, right? It's like 11:15. I'm like,
You're thinking, why didn't I stay longer if I knew it was going to be that fast getting back?
Right. I could have stayed another hour. But I made the right move because I came home a big winner.
Good.
And I was very happy about that.
Good.
So, all in all, a wonderful experience. Yeah, I'd recommend that casino. I mean, I didn't see the rooms or anything. I'm sure they're wonderful, but it looked like a really nice place.
All right.
And this weekend, right there at National Harbor, they had the World Championships of peep eating.
Oh, great.
Did you see that?
No, I
on the
didn't see
news?
it.
Yeah, some guy ate some monstrous number of Peeps
Really?
in like a 5-minute period.
Okay.
They're awfully sweet.
You know, that's the thing. I was talking to my son about it. It's like you kind of want to like them, but that's all they are really, are sweet.
Yeah, they're sweet.
You know, it's not, you don't even really get the marshmallow flavor. They're just like chewy and sweet. It's
They're
just like
chewy and
eating
sweat.
chewy sugar.
Yeah, that's what it is. Well, it's like cotton candy in a more solid form,
That's
right?
a good way to put it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the guy ate like, I don't know what the number was. I saw it on the news and they were just stuffing them in their mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how do they do that?
Yeah,
I love Peeps.
You do?
Yeah, I like the purple ones. Personally, I prefer the purple.
You don't like the pink ones?
The pink and the yellow. And
I'm going to buy
green.
you some Peeps when they're off season.
Yeah.
Like 6 months from now, I'm going to buy you a box of Peeps. Like get it online or something. Maybe it'll be stale. Who knows? But we'll see.
You know what we should do is
I'll watch you eat
blindfold
that.
me and see if I can tell you the difference in the color.
Okay. Yes, that I'll definitely do. You will not be able to do it. That's my
No,
prediction.
I will not. They all taste the same. Sugar.
That's right. Good. All right. Well, welcome back. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, when you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. You can bet on that.com and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. We have got a buttload of phone calls. Weren't you telling me, Mike, that a buttload is actually a real unit of measurement?
It is a real unit of measurement.
Amazing.
This is so stupid. We're driving out to the casino one night, and I just found that out. I'm like, I always thought somebody, he's got a buttload.
Sure.
Pants full of, right?
Right.
And no, it's an actual unit of measurement that they fill casks for wine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's...
and an American buttload is not quite as big as an English buttload.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, we haven't recorded in 3 weeks, so we got a lot of phone calls. So I don't think we're going to get to all of them this time, but we'll get through some. Then maybe we'll save the rest for the next episode. Anyway, remember, call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. First up is Carl that you played craps with at MGM National Harbor.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, Carl from Maryland. Not sure if this will be voicemail playable worthy, but it was really cool to meet Dr. Mike at MGM National Harbor this past Wednesday. It would have been cooler if I was on the winning rolls as opposed to the 7-out rolls that followed, but good etiquette dictated that I hang out behind and wait for the hot roll to finish because I couldn't buy in and throw cash on the table like your friend with $2,226. So meanwhile, I got to watch Dr. Mike make a killing, as well as stand behind creepily until I realized it was him. So, hate to do that. Dr. Mike really should have a shirt so that people don't feel like creeps hanging out trying to figure out if it is him or not. But otherwise, thank you guys very much. It was great to meet you, Dr. Mike, and talk for a little while. Sorry the Padres are going to be so bad this year, but thanks for trading those players like Trey Turner and Joe Ross to the Nationals. Oh, and thanks for making this fire bets for me. I do appreciate it, and I hope to get to play with you again soon, and hopefully it'll be a positive experience for the chip rack. Thanks for what you guys do, and we'll see you again. Bye.
Yeah, the Padres are well, as we're recording this, they're 5-5, right?
Right,
They aren't having as quite
We're
a
having a banner year.
off to a good start.
God, if they get to 500, I'm going to buy a well drink for every player on that team.
Great. Wait till the season's over.
Yeah.
Before you do that. Yeah, Mike, we need to get you a T-shirt, something that on the back says, I'm Dr. Mike.
You know what's funny, Carl, is my wife has been talking about this for quite a while, making us some really nice, like bowling type shirts, that have, and she's even designed it and everything.
Oh, yeah, kind of like.
Has yet to order them.
Yeah, okay, so they're out there. Yeah, when we saw Tony from Vice Lounge Online at
he
VIMF,
had a great shirt.
His shirt was great. So,
he had a great shirt. That's what we need. Some shirt like that that actually fits me that I can wear.
Oh.
I'm getting huge.
That's rough. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to get a shirt that size.
It's terrible. I keep telling my wife every day I'm going to tell myself lose weight. I need to lose weight. And it's probably not going to work, but I'm going to tell myself that.
That's what you're going to do. You're going to tell yourself.
I'm going to tell myself.
You should probably do some other things too. I don't know.
Exercise, eat better.
You're the doctor, so I'll defer to your expertise.
I'll see if just telling myself works.
All right, I'll start keeping track today. We'll see what happens 6 months from now.
I had forgot about Carl. Yeah, he did sit there and watch that last
roll.
So
he's waiting. He didn't want to buy in.
I think he got there after Ethan had just started rolling.
Oh,
and he
so it saw the big one.
All small. Yeah. Well, He's got manners.
Yeah, there you go. He's got good etiquette. Yep.
Yeah, and that you can't put a price on that.
No, you can't.
It doesn't help Carl's chipwreck, but you cannot
Well, I
put a
guess
price
that's the
on
price you can put on it is several $1,000s.
Several $1,000 he would have won.
That would be a price. All right. Hey, we got a call from Neil, who is friends with Eric and Larry that we met, quote unquote, at the casino.
Now, does he work with you?
No, okay. Neil does not work with me.
I just wanted to check. He's some guy that works there too.
All right, let's see what Neil has to say.
Hey guys, it's Neil. Love the podcast. I get texts from one of my best friends, Larry, and he tells me that you guys are playing craps with him. Just wondering how you guys like that experience, and if you think Larry has a feel for the game. Let us know. Love the podcast. Bye.
So now Neil has contacted us before about certain types of craps players. Like if you looked at a person, could you tell just by looking at that person if they would be a good craps player, a good shooter?
Good shooter.
So really what he's asking is, now that we've seen Larry, is there anything about Larry that might indicate to us that he's a good craps shooter? And whereas we don't really necessarily believe in that kind of thing, I got to say this, Neil, we have played craps with Larry now, and unfortunately it's only been here in California,
right,
where we've got card craps. So even though we're rolling dice, the dice just translate to cards.
Nothing.
They mean nothing. So even if Larry does have some kind of power over the dice here and is a good shooter, we haven't been able to tell because of these cards.
Right.
So Larry is going, I believe, to 360 Vegas Vacation 4, so in Vegas. So we'll see him actually throw dice at a real craps table, and we'll let you know.
We'll put him to the test.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
And if he is a good roller, I'm not going to let him out of my sight.
Yeah, that's right.
And I may not anyway.
You're going to be a stalker.
Yeah, because I like Larry. But
let's move on to the next call. Let's hear from Marty.
Hey guys, Marty from Northern California. Just calling to give you an update from Thunder Valley Casino. So, as you know, I've been shooting dice all over the world. This is the first time I've actually had a chance to experience California craps, which is what I think you guys played down at RingCon. Thunder Valley, north of Sacramento. I was actually up here for a concert last night. And they have one dice table. It's a California craps, as I mentioned, where they're using the card shuffling machine, which the stickman controls. And interesting the way that they do it here, where the cards that come out of this have all of the combinations on the dice actually on the card. So you throw the two dice, one red dice, one blue dice, and whatever die has the highest value, they either pull the red card or the blue card. Red card always comes out of the deck first, blue card comes out second, and they flip that card, and it actually has what would look like two dice on it. So a 2 and a 3 or a 2 and a 5 on the actual cards. $1,000 limit, so $10 minimum, $1,000 limit, 3, 4, 5 times odds. Kind of a strange game. I know you guys play it all the time. It just, it's amazing how many times the 5 and the 2 came up on the cards. So not a great night, but interesting to play this. I think next time I'll just spend the extra hour driving and go all the way to Reno. I think it's a much better deal there. Anyway, love the show, guys. See you later. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, we have played that version at Paula, close to us. Right. That's how they do it.
That's how they do it there. Harrah's RingCon's a little different on the cards, how they do it.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like that version.
I don't either, no.
And it's the dice are so stupid on that.
Yes.
They're stupid at RingCon.
Yes.
They're particularly stupid there.
Yeah, right.
Because one dice has a 5 and a 2, right? And the other has a 3 and a 4.
Yeah, these are not traditional dice, right? Because like Marty was saying, whichever die has the higher value indicates what card's going to flip over. Well, what if you roll a pair? Well, you can't with these dice, right?
Yeah, because if you roll the green one, it's either going to be a 2 or a 5. So if a 2 comes up, then you're just going to turn over the red card.
Yeah.
And if your 5 comes up, then you're going to turn over the green card.
Yeah.
So why not roll one die? Why do they have two dice?
It's silly. Every casino here has some different way to get you involved in the game. Yeah. It is one of my least favorite. I agree.
Yeah. It drives me crazy. Now, my brother has won quite a bit at Pella.
Yeah, I know.
Playing there.
Yeah.
So, streaks, right?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. All right. Next call.
Hey, guys. This is Adam from Denver, Colorado. Just recently started to listen to your show. Absolutely love it. My buddy and I just actually got back from a weekend in Vegas, so I thought I'd just tell you about it real quick. We stayed at the Excalibur. I know there's a lot of jokes about that, but it's usually pretty cheap. And happy to report there are still $5 tables there, even weekend nights. We took advantage of that. We were initially there because the Cubs were playing a spring training game at Cashman Field, so we did that for a little bit and then went back to Fremont Street, where we didn't do very well. So then we went to Treasure Island and got on an absolute heater. We were there sitting at the same table for about 4 hours. Just amazing. And when we first got there, it was a $10 table, and they pretty soon after we got there changed it to 15, but they grandfathered us in and actually let us do 10 the whole night, which I thought was pretty cool considering we were there for about another 3 hours after they changed the limit. But so that was great. Thankfully, most of the strip casinos, the craps tables, are still 3, 4, 5 odds, and the Cromwell is also still 100 times odds. So good to see that, at least as of right now, Steve Wynn seems to kind of be going it alone with the 2 times odds. And then one other thing on limits, my buddy and I, not this trip, but the last trip we did, we were at the Monte Carlo, and all the tables were 15, and many of them were just empty. It was middle of the day, daytime. So we went ahead and asked the dealers if they wouldn't mind changing it to 10, or at least allowing us to bet for 10, and they just asked around, asked Hip Boss, and he said, sure. So we were able to play for 10 for a little bit. We didn't do too well, but, as far as the casino is concerned, I'm pretty sure they're happy because they still got our money. So just a tip in case you or any of the other listeners ever don't want to play a table because it's too much. Hey, maybe never hurts to ask. And, kind of bearing the lead, we were there this weekend when there was the robbery at the Bellagio and then the shooting on the bus on the strip. So quite the crazy weekend. But anyway, love your guys' podcast. Keep up the good work.
That was
a weird weekend.
That was definitely a weird weekend. But that's great advice about just asking, hey, can we play? And it's funny because Victor did the exact same thing. We were there at VIMF a couple of years ago, and our buddy Victor was with us. We were a group, and we went in there, and I don't know if it was like a $15 table or
something like that.
Victor,
and it was empty.
And it was Monte Carlo also,
right,
same casino,
Carlo,
right? Yeah, it was nobody there. So Victor just said, is it okay if we just play $5? And just right, sure.
Yeah,
so it'll depend on the casino, but they'd rather have bodies at the table, than just being, staying open and nobody's there at the higher limit. So, it's great advice.
I love that TI let him, grandfathered him in.
That is nice.
Because a lot of casinos will not do that. They say, at 6 o'clock, next shooter, it's going up.
That's the way it is for us at Harrah's.
Yeah, at Harrah's, they do that all the time.
That's great. We haven't been to TI in a long time, Mike. When's the last time we were there?
It was a pirate ship the last time I was there.
It's so funny because, we're always around that area, and we'll go to Mirage, and we'll go across the street, but for whatever reason, we just don't. We should go back there.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. I never minded playing there. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, we'll go back there one time.
It's funny that he went to Cashman Field.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Now, he went in spring training.
Yeah.
It's probably a little better. We went to the Padres minor league team was the Las Vegas
Stars,
I guess. Yeah. I was going to say All-Stars, but Stars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's nothing All-Star about the Padres.
No.
Anyway, we went to the regular season game, and it was in the summertime, remember?
Yes.
I want to say it was like July or August.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
It was brutal. The game started in the evening, but it was still like 105 outside or 106. Yeah. We made it through, 3 innings maybe?
And then we hit the road,
we're at a minor league baseball game in killer heat. Yeah. And there's casinos surrounding us.
See, Mike, we need to learn that lesson because all the time we're thinking, we should do these other things in Vegas. We should do this. And we need to learn because every time we do that, it's like, what are we doing here?
Right.
We could be at the craps table.
Right.
We need to, even if we left right now and got an Uber, it's going to be at least a half hour before we're in front of a table. What were we thinking?
Yeah, well, all things, we went to a minor league baseball game
we're baseball
that featured Padre players, though. I mean, if we're going to a minor league game, we should at least see, our minor league team is the Padres.
That's okay.
Right. So I don't know what we were watching then.
It sounded like such
college
a great, hey, let's do that. Yeah, we like baseball. Let's go. And we're sitting there. What were we thinking?
Even I think Paul was with us, right?
No, it was just the two of us. Because remember then we were trying to get a cab and then we couldn't get a cab. We ended up walking downtown. We walked like a couple of idiots.
Yeah, we walked a long ways.
That was terrible.
That was stupid.
It sure was. All right. Next call.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Eric from Ottawa, Canada. I started listening to the podcast after Mark called or wrote into the Anti-Up podcast a few years back, and after however many years, I still haven't played any casino games other than poker, which is a testament to how entertaining you guys are. I went down to Las Vegas last week for 5 days and never thought I would have any sort of trip report to make since all it was poker, walking the strip, and seeing all sorts of craps tables that were way above my bankroll. But then something happened that was so bizarre. I was staying at the Stratosphere and I was set to check out on Saturday. So on Friday, my plan was to take the monorail down to the Strip and figure out some poker tournaments, then head downtown for dinner and see if I could finally find a $5 craps table to try out. So I wandered the Strip all day. It was getting hotter, so I thought I'd stop back at my hotel, change into some shorts. Got back to my room around 4:45 and I went to plug in my phone and my charge cord was missing. And so I thought, okay, maybe I left it in the drawer. So I opened the drawer and the drawer was empty. Then I checked my closet and it was empty. All my clean clothes, my dirty clothes, all my drawers were empty. If I hadn't opened up my safe and saw that my passport and everything was still there, I would have thought I was in the wrong room. Everything was gone. So I called down, security came up, and thankfully they were able to figure out that housekeeping had brought my stuff down to lost and found. And I was able to get my stuff back within half an hour. But the security guy said this thing never has happened that he's seen, and I should call down and talk to a manager for sure. The front desk was apparently overly busy that day. And yeah, a manager was supposed to phone me back when he was free. I spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours waiting for him to call back. So at this point, it's nearing 7 and I was still hadn't eaten dinner. So I went down to the front desk. I said, listen, I'm going out. I will deal with this when I get back. So I headed downtown, tried to figure out where I should go to get food. I went to Fort Queens. They had 2 $5 craps tables, but they were packed the entire time I was there. So I still have never played craps. That's awesome. Headed back to the hotel, waited in a line for another 45 minutes to an hour to talk to a manager.
Well, that's unreal.
The manager said he was flabbergasted and said the cleaning staff isn't supposed to be able to do that. They're not supposed to be able to bag anything up. Only security should be able to. And said lost and found shouldn't have accepted anything from the cleaning staff because it wasn't coming from security. Anyway, the manager ended up comping my upgrade fee. And the only reason I had paid an upgrade fee to get a better room was so I could get a safe. So for all my wasted evening, I got about $80 back. And just wondering if you think this is fair? And have you ever heard of anything like this happening?
Something doesn't smell right here.
No, this is a
very
strange
odd.
story.
Yeah.
This is one reason I wouldn't go to Stratosphere.
This is reason?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is one of the many reasons,
Okay,
I think.
all right. It's strange. So he's saying, okay, he was told that the lost and found shouldn't even accept something from housekeeping?
Well, hey, housekeeping would never, if let's say they thought you were supposed to be checked out, but your stuff was still in the room. Yeah. I know this from experience.
Yeah.
Housekeeping wouldn't do anything.
I think
they call security.
Yeah, exactly.
And security, oh yeah, this guy, forgot something in the room. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's say, it's just you forgot your phone.
Yeah.
They call security. Security takes that down to the security office and hangs on to it. I know this because this happened to my brother at Harris Rincon.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
They thought he had left.
Right. Uh-huh.
And he had just gone to Pala to play.
Okay.
So they had security come in and get all of his stuff and take it down to security. He came back, his room was empty.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute. And they had packed it all up and everything. They thought he had checked out when he really hadn't checked out yet. It was a snafu at the desk.
Okay. I think that's...
he had to get his stuff from security.
I think that's kind of what happened. I'll bet you security, for whatever reason, got all his stuff.
Right.
Then tried to pin it on housekeeping.
Right.
So they didn't look bad.
Housekeeping probably thought he had checked out.
That's very possible. Maybe so housekeeping said...
They have a list, and the list probably said, oh, he's supposed to have checked out. Yeah. And it was afternoon, so they said, wait a minute. So they called security, this guy left all of his stuff here. Mm-hmm. And, I'm sure that happens a lot because people probably either decide to stay longer and don't go back to their room, don't tell anybody or whatever,
sure.
Or disappear.
Right, yeah.
So, they probably bag it all up. And it was probably a snafu like that. And I think maybe security was trying to cover it up.
But on top of that, then, the amount of time that it took just to talk to somebody about it.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I think they should have comped his whole trip, to be honest. I don't know.
Exactly.
It's always tough. I don't like confrontation either. So I'm not saying Eric should have, made a big stink about it, but they probably should have comped
the right thing for them would have been to comp his stay.
And then the other thing that got me was he said he paid for an upgrade so he could get a safe. I can't
Doesn't
believe
every room have a safe?
That casinos in Las Vegas, you would think every room would have a safe now.
They almost have to.
Yeah.
I have to.
Wow. So that is a
funny.
strange story.
Well, if it makes Eric feel any better, when this happened to my brother, the security guard packed his stuff up. My brother said, well, I hadn't really packed. I had like dirty underwear and dirty clothes sitting. He had a room with 2 beds.
Yeah.
On the other bed, I had just thrown them there. Well, they took that and stuffed it in the suitcase and closed it up.
Yeah.
So when he went to get it, the security guard said, well, I had to pack all this up and everything. So we're walking through Harrah's Rincon one day with my brother, and he nudges me and he said, that's him. And I'm like, what? And the security guard, he's pointing, that's him. That's the guy that touched my dirty underwear.
I hope he said it loud enough so that everybody in the casino could hear.
He looked at him.
Yeah, very strange. Very strange.
It's an odd story.
Yeah. All right, let's hear from Daniel.
Hey guys, it's Daniel from Louisville, Kentucky. I was just calling to tell you about an experience I had last night. I am in Vegas right now, and went to the Cromwell last night, and we were just trying to kill some time, and all the craps tables were full, so we were walking around, and they had a casino war game, which I've played before. It's not super uncommon, but the rules that they had there were very uncommon. Everywhere else I've played in Vegas usually is a $10 minimum. It was a $200 maximum bet. If you end up getting a war from between you and the dealer, if you want to play, you have to double your bet. But if you win, you only win your original bet. So it's never worth it. And I usually just surrender and they take half the money, whatever. But at the Cromwell, they had $5 minimum and $1,000 maximum. And same rules in terms of if you get a war, you double your bet, you only win your initial bet. But the first time I got a war, I surrendered, and it was just a push. You don't lose half your money. At first I thought he made a mistake. I didn't say anything, but then it just kept happening, so I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, at the Cromwell for a casino war, if you surrender, it's just a push. I don't know what the house edge of that game in general is, but with surrendering only being a push there, I was curious if you knew the math on that, of like how much of a house edge is on that game with those certain rules, and is that a good game to play with those rules? Thanks, guys. Bye.
So Casino War, very simple game.
Right.
You make your bet, say $10, right? And then you get a card and the dealer gets a card.
Right. You either beat him or tie him or lose to him.
Right. So whoever has the higher card wins.
Right.
And again, if you have the same card, then you go to war.
Right.
And like Daniel said, that's where the casino makes their money.
Right.
Because if you go to war,
That's
you
where
have
they
to
have the
double your
edge.
bet. And if you win, you only get, your initial bet. But if you lose both of them.
Right.
Okay. But if you surrender, you can surrender for half your bet. So he's saying at Cromwell, when you surrender, it's just a push. So think about it.
Right. It's a 50-50 game.
Exactly.
You surrender every time.
Right. So when you lose, you lose it. When you win, you win it. And when it's a tie, it's a tie. There is no house edge on that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, Daniel called back.
Hey guys, it's Daniel from Louisville, Kentucky again. I am at the airport about to fly back home, and just wanted to give you guys a quick trip report and update. I had called earlier about playing Casino War at the Cromwell, and we went back to play, and it turns out that that dealer did just make a mistake. And so we played for about 2 hours without him taking our money if we surrendered during a war, and ended up being awesome. I mean, we all made a good amount of money playing that, and we went back the next day and played, and sure enough, it was a mistake. So that's not a new rule at the Cromwell, but we got to take advantage of it. Other than that, man, the gambling was horrible pretty much the rest of the time. I played a ton of craps all over the place, and I just went on a horrendous losing streak. For some reason, we ended up playing, I felt like everywhere I played, we were playing in just some, like, douchebags, guys that would, like, run up to the table with $20 on and throw it down on the field, win, and then start screaming about how the field is the best bet in craps, make $40, $50, and then leave the table. And meanwhile, I can't hit a number to save my life. That happened a ton, and I got yelled at by another player for tossing the dice and then 7-ing out, and he's screaming at me about how I need to give the dice time before I throw it and all this stuff.
God.
He goes through his little rigmarole about how he sets the dice and all this crap and then throws it, and he's still 7 out. But outside of the gambling, the rest of the trip was really great. You know, we had good food. I think I ate it In and Out like 3 times because we don't have it where I live. We went to Momofuku at the Cosmopolitan, that new restaurant, which is incredible. I stayed at Harrah's, I stayed at the D, I stayed at Rio, and at Planet Hollywood, and had great experiences at all of them. Took advantage of, the Diamond free valet parking everywhere, really great experience. So everything else about the trip was really, really great. And I had fun gambling. I just went on a terrible losing streak. But just wanted to call and give you guys an update about the casino war and tell you how the rest of the trip went. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, too good to be true on the casino
I'm glad he
war.
called back because honestly, when you had already heard this, but I hadn't heard it before.
Yeah.
When he's explaining that, I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is the best game ever.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I love about this story is that Daniel actually asked the dealer.
Yeah.
You know, instead of the dealer said, oh my gosh, I've been messing up. Said, no, here at the Cromwell,
you're right.
When you surrender, it's just a push. I love
And
that.
that's why you can never take anything a dealer tells you. You know, when they say, we're going to switch to blah, 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 or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, they're full of crap.
Somehow this dealer, maybe he was told it. Because he actually said, no, here at the Cromwell. Oh, yeah, I know what they do at other casinos.
Yeah, but
here at the
we're
Cromwell, we play a 50-50 game. Oh, that's a great story, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what he was on.
Oh, I was right. After the first call, I was thinking, oh, man, this is a great announcement we'll make to everybody.
Yeah, we got to head to Cromwell.
Hey,
It's 50-50
Casino
game,
war.
right.
Enjoy yourselves. Get free drinks. Yeah.
Right. Oh, my gosh. Well, his trip sounds a lot like ours.
Yeah.
We have fun and everything, but the gambling maybe a lot of times doesn't go our way.
Yeah,
and, so I'm glad the other stuff did.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely. So. Yeah. Okay, next call.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Rye calling. Wanted to give you guys a call. I reached out to Mark on Twitter regarding the Downtown Grand still offering the free buy bets on the 4 and 10, and he went ahead and advised me that unfortunately they are no longer offering them, but if you purchase the American Casino Guide, that they did have a coupon for them. So I was turned on to that, and I looked it up online, and I was really impressed by the match play offers and the other coupons. So I went ahead and ordered that, and when I went to redeem it, they advised that they're no longer offering the coupon. Instead, they're offering $10 in slot play. There's another sign-up bonus for the Players Club there, which also got me $10 in slot play. So just starting out, that was $20 in slot play. And then there was a third coupon for a free ace bet playing blackjack up to $25, and basically your first card dealt is automatically an ace, and you have that advantage. However, when I got up to the table, the dealer thought it was a match play, so he dealt me 2 cards, and there was another player at the table, and then he dealt himself 2 cards. Naturally, he had an ace show up, and I pointed it out that this is actually a free ace, and he'd never seen the coupon before. He seemed new. I felt really bad for kind of throwing him off like that. But the pit boss was really understanding about it. He's totally cool, explained it to the guy, no, just this is the coupon he has, and he was well aware of it. So naturally, when he did deal me the ace, I got the blackjack, so that worked out well. They did have 10 times odds, $5 craps, went to the table right after that, had some luck there, and really enjoyed playing it. A little smaller than I thought. I known it was off of Fremont, but it was still enjoyable playing there. And just wanted to find out if you guys have purchased a copy of the American Casino Guide. I imagine you have. And also I noticed that Las Vegas Advisors seems to, I think that's the name of it, they seem to have the same kind of book. And I didn't know if you guys had tried them out as well, if you could double up on the coupons or how that worked. One other thing I'll bring up, if I have enough time here, is that I was invited to a blackjack tournament at San Manuel here. And I just wanted to know, besides basic strategy, if you guys had any suggestions regarding blackjack tournaments. First-time player here. I mean, I know a little bit about basic strategy. I'll obviously buffing up on that. But just seeing if there was any tips or anything that you guys suggested, or if you could reference me to a prior episode. Thanks a lot. And, one last thing. I did try to purchase something through Amazon, but I couldn't find the link. So if you could maybe, I hope I'm not missing it, but if you could maybe just let me know where on you can bet on that website, I could find the link so I can try to support you guys that way as well. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to hearing the show. Bye.
Yeah, the Amazon link should appear at the top of the page. Even if you're using a mobile device, you'll see it there at the top of the page, just a banner that says Amazon. Now, if you have some kind of ad blocking software running, you won't see it there. It won't show up. What I'll do, I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But you should, if you're not seeing it, that's probably why. You probably have some ad blocker going there.
I will say, though, the best thing to do on a blackjack tournament is play basic strategy, bet small, and let everyone else kill themselves.
That is a good way to go. But again, it depends on the tournament. Because remember, Mike, you were in a tournament once where it was just whoever had the most money at the end of like everybody in the tournament,
Right.
or like the top 10 people. So in that case,
You have to be aggressive.
you
and
want to
try
bet like the
win
max
money.
every hand and make
Right.
moves like doubling down on blackjack and splitting any pair,
Right.
and you go kind of crazy like that. But
Right.
yeah, if it's
Typically, though, they'll run a tournament and it'll be like the winner of this table will move on.
Right.
So, and it'll be a certain amount of hands. Let's say they're going to play 25 hands. Well, what you would do in that case is you would bet the minimum and play basic strategy, let other people go up and down and wait till the last like 5 hands. Of course, if somebody bets all their money and wins and then doubles up again, you have to watch what other people are doing.
You need to watch other people's, what they're doing and their stacks.
And their stacks.
Because that strategy, even though it might be good to begin with, it's like,
Right.
okay, now I need to make a move to get to catch up, right? Yeah.
That's your beginning strategy. And then based on other people's play, you adjust from there.
Yeah.
So if somebody gets a big lead, then you got to go after them.
Yeah.
But if they don't, if only one person's going to move on from that table, if it's 2 going to move on, then it's a different strategy, right? You look at it.
Sure.
You just need to finish second.
Yes, right.
But if everyone's doing poorly and the dealer's making hands, you're losing the least, then you just stick to that strategy to the end. It really comes down usually to the last couple hands, 2-3 hands.
Often it does.
Right.
Again, these are very general recommendations.
Right.
Obviously, if you want to go more in depth, there is a lot of stuff online dealing with blackjack tournaments that you can check out.
Right.
The American Casino Guide and Las Vegas Advisor, excellent for getting match play coupons and all sorts of, 2-for-1s and all sorts of stuff. I think I heard Anthony Curtis on Gambling with an Edge say that there's a limit of 2 copies of the Las Vegas Advisor per address, because they're so popular. There's so much in there that they don't want people just, buying,
tons
of them. So, but yeah, both of those are excellent for getting all sorts of good deals.
Most people aren't going to go to Vegas that much.
Well, not that much, but an advantage player, if he played his cards right, so to speak, you might be able to really take advantage of it based on what kind of offers they have. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, we got a good story from Julian.
Hey guys, Julian here from California. Just calling with the trip report. It was Super Bowl weekend, so this is kind of late, but the reason for calling is because something amazing happened, of course. We started the trip off, went down, got our Super Bowl bets in and stuff, of course, got everything situated. Went big on the Falcons. Of course, everybody is leaning towards the Falcons. Myself, I thought, of course, they can pull the upset. So, had crappy crap sessions to start off with. The first couple sessions, we were down a few $100. So Super Bowl day, we actually get our picks, everything in, head out to, we were in Harrah's, Laughlin. We like to go out there about once a month. It's pretty chill, which I like, and not too much for the Vegas scene. It can be a little chaotic every now and then. So Laughlin's a lot of older people. So we went out to go visit a few casinos down the ways, and then we headed back. We actually intended to go hit one of our match play machines, a $5 machine. It was a video poker called Super Double Bonus. We usually play dollars. My wife likes to gamble as well, so we like to hit that every now and then. So we had lunch once we got back to our casino from checking out the others. The Super Bowl was getting ready to start. They had a Super Bowl party for the VIP people there, so of course we went to go check that out, and that was a madhouse. A bunch of people roaring and cheering for both sides, which was really fun. About 2,000 people in a room, so a lot of fun. Of course, halftime comes. We're super cheering, happy. Yeah, we got our money. Go up to the room, have a little celebratory drink session, of course. Head back down, have some more drinks, and then we found out we lose. So that was a dagger. I put a dagger on the night. So as the next day happens, we're headed back after we're going to have some lunch. This is now the Monday after. Still kind of bummed about our Super Bowl bets. Had about $1,000 altogether on the Falcons, some prop bets and stuff like that. So I won a couple. I won the halftime bet back and stuff, so I wasn't too disappointed. But the bigger bet was on the win, actually, for the Falcons. So we were kind of dampered. We decided, let's go play this high-limit machine and let's go try it out. So first time we actually got dealt a royal flush, so that was easy, $4,000 in the pocket. So we had some playing money now, so let's play a little more. Not even 8 hands later, we see 4 to the royal, and then the rollie comes off, the little multiplier, starts flipping out, going crazy. It's times 8. Stops on the times 8, and like I said, we've already got 4 clubs to the royal. We're now waiting for the 5th. Sure enough, it flips over, royal flush, doubt.
Wow.
We got a payout of $32,000 on top of the royal that we had just hit. So we are now about up $37,000.
Oh my
So we
God.
decided, well, let's go play. Now we can have some fun. So we went
Super
back
Bowl
to the
doesn't
craps
seem
table,
like much.
bought in for about $500 a piece, and we both cashed out about almost upwards to $2,500. So we had a really good crap session afterwards. We ended up leaving home upwards of $40,000. Very, very good trip. Had to give you guys a report. Sorry I was so late about it. Just never ever done this. Kind of a little nervous about it, but you know what? I love your guys' podcast. Love the work you guys do. And thank you again for every podcast that comes up. Never played craps before listening to this show. Just discovered it on a cruise ship in January and been on a hot roll ever since. And I know it does go downhill, so I know I got to enjoy it while it lasts. But you know what? Hey, I'm going to take it. Thank you again, guys. Have a great one. Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man,
great.
congratulations. Yeah. Hey, don't be nervous about calling in, too. And if you mess up, I'll just edit it out, whatever you messed up. And
Never be nervous. I tell you that all the time. Don't be nervous.
Yeah, just do it.
This is what we do. Just do
That's what
it.
we do. Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine the Royal? It's like, hey, we got a Royal. That's great. To see 4 cards to a Royal and that bonus come up 8 times. And
Wow.
that's fantastic. Yeah,
that
that's
is
great.
unbelievable. That would make your year, right?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? Yeah,
you'd be
amazing.
Like, the IRS is going to be knocking on your door.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to.
Sorry about that, Julian, but the IRS is going to be knocking on your door.
All right, next call.
Hey, guys. My name is Charlie. I've been listening to podcasts for a few months now. Really enjoy it. I recently moved from Indiana to Idaho, so my access to a real casino has been pretty limited. Only casinos within an hour or so driving distance are pretty much just slot machines and gas stations. But your podcast certainly helps keep my mind at ease. I'm primarily a craps player when I do make it out to a casino. I want to see if you guys had any comments on the any 7 bet. I've never seen anyone play it for obvious reasons. The house edge is outrageous. But I guess some people play the big 6 and big 8 sometimes, which is just as outrageous when you can easily just place the 8. Pays a lot better. So on the any 7, it does have a multiplier, pays you 4 to 1. That certainly makes it look better. But why wouldn't it pay 5 to 1? This would at least make it more enticing to even consider, and it still gives the casino the edge. So I just wanted to see if you guys had any stories about this particular bet, if you see anybody play it consistently. But I'll be on Vegas next June, and I guess in just a couple months here, so I'll be able to make some baseball bets at that point too, instead of just focusing on craps. But keep up the good work. Have a good one.
Yeah, the any 7 bet is the worst bet on the craps table, not counting any side bets that they might have.
Yeah, right.
Over a 16% house edge, pays 4 to 1. Now, if it paid 5 to 1, the house would have no edge on it.
Right.
Because think of it this way, there are 36 different ways that you can roll the dice. 6 of those ways is a 7. So that means 30 of the other ways is not a 7. So 30 to 6, that's the same as 5 to 1. So if they paid 5 to 1, there would be no house edge. So that's why it's 4 to 1.
That's why it's 4 to 1. And then they get a huge house edge.
Yeah.
And then you could also bet a 3-way 7 if they have hop bets where you can hop a 7.
That can actually be a better bet. Correct. Yes.
That is a better bet.
Yeah.
But it drives me crazy when casinos don't offer that.
Well, you're thinking of casinos out here like Verona.
Right,
they don't
right.
have, but every casino in Las Vegas will have
they
a hop
do,
bet.
right?
Yeah,
but here at these Indian casinos, no hop bets.
Yeah. Well, here let's explain it. So, and let's use an example of a $3 bet because you're talking about a 3-way 7. It needs to be a multiple of 3.
Right.
So if you just give them $3 and say, bet on any 7, and a 7 comes up, it'll pay $12, right? 4 to 1. $3 pays $12.
Right.
Now, if instead you were to say hop all the 7s for $3, that means you're making a hop bet.
You're making basically 3 separate bets.
Yes.
You're betting 5, 2, 6, 1, 4, 3.
All 3 of those combinations, $1 on each.
Right.
And if a 7 comes up, you'll get paid $13.
Right.
So,
it pays 15 minus the 2 you lost because the 7 came up one way.
So it'll pay 13. Now, it's a bad bet. Over 11% house edge.
Right.
But it's better than 16%.
Right.
So,
right.
But anyway, the reason you don't see people doing it is because it does have a high house edge. People often will do it as a hedge. It's like, to cover. But really, certainly in the long run, it's a terrible bet.
I don't know if you noticed this, but just this last weekend, there was that lady that was kind of sitting, you were on my right, and then there was me, and then there was Larry, and on Larry's left there was a lady, middle-aged lady, who kept giving him $5 for a 3-way 7.
Yeah.
She wanted to cover her come bets. So a point had been made.
Sure, right.
She had a bunch of come bets, and she wanted to cover them, and she kept giving them $5. And they kept repeatedly trying to explain to her, needs to be a multiple of 3. Do you want $3 bet, or do you want to give us another $1 for $6 bet?
Yeah, right.
And then when she got more come bets later, she gave them 10. And they're like, well, do you want 9, or do you want to go to 12, or do you want 15? And they kept telling her, well, you need 15. You're going to have to bet 15 if you want to cover all these come bets. Yeah. She didn't want to lose her come bet. And the whole night, she could not.
It never clicked with her.
They kept saying it's 3 separate bets. It never clicked to her.
Okay, let's hear from Tom.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Tom in North Carolina. A couple quick trip reports. Just 2 weeks ago was at the MGM Detroit. I think I'm the only one that regularly calls in for this location. Nothing to report other than I lost a lot of money. Short session. Again, as noted, previous trip reports, great dealers, very serious local crowd, but overall a good time other than the final outcome. Also just came back from multi-night stay in Las Vegas, actually a work trip, ended up staying at the Encore, which is a craps player isn't the best thing in the world with 2 times odds. But as often is the case when you find yourself at the end of the evening and all the events are over for the day, it's easier sometimes just to suck it up and play at the host hotel rather than venture out. So I had a few sessions, none of which were all that great other than the night before leaving. Actually was one number away from hitting the all tall small. Had $10 on it, got everything but a 9, and could not hit the 9 to save my life, unfortunately. But the closest apparently the dealers had seen in a long time. Also, I'm not a big blackjack player anymore, only because I've been on about a 5-year losing streak, and did finally actually break the streak. Bought in for $400 at a $15 table at the Wynn. After an hour of up and down, walked away with 401. So I can officially say my losing streak is over. Thinking back to a couple podcasts previously, discussion about money management, so I just kind of throw my 2 cents in there. I generally, for craps, I buy in essentially 40 units for whatever the buy-in is. So if it's a $15 table, I'll usually be there for 600. And then just kind of the way I run it, I figure if I'm going to play 3 or 4 sessions a day, that kind of figures my daily bankroll and then times that by whatever days I'll be there. I do not utilize casino credit. I'm not sure if I'm really ready to venture into that area yet, only because I feel like that would make it too easy. But interesting discussions lately on that topic. Also got I'm heading to China tomorrow, and we'll have a long weekend in Hong Kong. And so looking forward to a return trip to Macau. I actually played craps there about 3 years ago, and had a great time. Actually won some money. Actually, it looked like a lot of money at the time, but it was Hong Kong dollars, not U.S. dollars. But looking to for a return trip, and I'll report back on my results there.
You got cut off there at the 3-minute limit. That's well, good luck in China. That's actually good advice. 40 times the table minimum. I kind of like that. So if it's a $10 table, $400, $5 table, $200. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
no, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
His call started off bad. I just lost everywhere I went. Oh God, I don't want to hear that. That's my life. I don't want to hear that.
We get that every week.
Yeah, I want to hear all the good stories.
Yeah, that's right. Let's do one more call. We'll do one more here, and we'll save the rest for next time. From our buddy Travis.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Travis from Tacoma. I've been playing craps occasionally for a few years now, especially with you guys at events the last couple of years. What an epic meetup that was at Luxor when both tables hit the all. Anyway, I still sometimes feel like a bit of a noob, so I'm looking for some advice. Last night, I was playing at the local Indian casino up here, the Emerald Queen. And I'm a risk-averse gambler, if that makes any sense at all. So I tend to play the pass line with low odds, place the 6 and 8, and that's it. But for $1, I'll also play the terrible odds of the fire bet or the all tall small. So offers the fire bet, and their crew was talking last night about how 6 numbers had hit on one of their tables that morning and on a table the day before. So they were pretty excited about that. Anyway, I've got the dollar fire bet down, and the shooter hit the 5 and the 8 and the 9 and the 10. So I'm guaranteed 25 for 1 on my $1 bet. Up there at the other end of the table, I had a $5 fire bet, so he was guaranteed $125. Next come out roll, the shooter rolls a 4. So if he rolls another 4, we win $250 to win. The player with the $5 fire bet at the end of the table then laid $300 on the 4. I don't see late bets that often, so I didn't remember what they were or if it was a good time to do it, and if so, for how much. Only that it's a hedging move, which violates one of the Wizard of Odds gambling commandments, thou shalt not hedge. The shooter then rolled a 7, ending the roll, so but the guy at the end of the tables, his $300 lay bet paid $150, and he got his $300 back, and then he got his $125 for the small fire bet win. I'm guessing there was a VIG paid somewhere in there, but I must not have been paying attention. From your Facebook post last December, when Dr. Mike hit his 6-point fire bet, you mentioned that Dr. Mike laid against the final point, and that raises my question. So assuming I've only got a $1 fire bet, what should a risk-averse gambler like me lay when the 5th or 6th points get established? I love the show, and hope to meet with you two in Vegas again for a future BIM-like activity, and I will catch you later.
So just like the Wizard of Odds, we say, hedging is not a good bet.
Right.
The exception that we would make, though, is if you're hedging against a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So let's say somebody came up to you and said, hey, I'll give you $1 million, but you have to bet it on a blackjack hand. And so you bet it, and you were dealt blackjack, and the dealer had an ace showing.
Right.
They said, do you want insurance? Well, yeah, I'm going to take insurance. Even though insurance is not a good bet. It's like, I'm never going to have $1 million here, so I'll take it even. It's kind of a silly example. But, Dr. Mike, you and I play enough craps that we may hit, some more fire bets as we go on. But for a lot of people, even being on a 6 number of a fire bet,
it doesn't happen that often.
It could be a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Right.
So we would say that might be the time to hedge. Now, I wouldn't recommend, I think you'll agree, I wouldn't recommend hedging on the 5th number.
No, I've never hedged on a 5th number. Yeah. Although when he was telling the story, when Travis was telling that, I guess if the 5th number was going to be a 4 or a 10, maybe those are the two I might be able to talk myself into hedging because, it's a 4 and a 10.
Sure.
But no, I wouldn't. It's just not worth the risk, right?
And, if you play craps enough, you're going to be on a 5th number a few times, right? So,
right. It's not that infrequent. Now, getting on the 6th number is a little different.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Because you're going to get, even if you have only $1, you're going to get $1,000.
Yes.
So hedging a little bit, if let's say you hedged, $300, well, you still a $700 profit.
Mm-hmm, right.
Right.
Well, here's what I was going to say. It's really up to you, whatever you want to do. But if you wanted to make a hedge bet where the result would be about the same money no matter what happened, bet about half of what you're going to win on the fire bet. So, for example, let's say you had $1 on the fire bet, and it's going to pay $1,000 if you hit that 6th number.
Right.
Go ahead and lay against that 6th number for maybe $500. Let's use your example of let's say it's a 4 or 10. Okay, let's say it's a 4. So you lay that for $500. Okay.
Right.
If the 4 is rolled, you win the fire bet, $1,000, and you lose the $500 lay bet. Right. So your profit is $500, right? If the 7 comes up, so you haven't won all 6 numbers on the fire bet.
Right.
The lay bet against the 4 will pay $250. And your fire bet will pay $250 because you made
the 5
numbers.
Right.
250 plus 250 is 500. Right. Now, I've left out VIG, and you don't actually win 250 2-1. It's 250 4-1. So dollar amounts.
There's a few little dollars there.
But that's what I would recommend. So, and if you wanted to just take some specific numbers, say it's a 410, lay about $500 against it. If the point is 5 or 9, lay say $450. And if the point is 6 and 8, lay $420, and it'll be about the same if that's your goal.
Right.
But certainly, I would say don't bet any more than that.
Yeah. You know what? If it's your first time on a 6th number, don't hedge anything.
I agree.
It's just because it's way more exciting to get the $5,000.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't get it, you're still happy with $1,250.
Even for that's the thing. Let's say it's just $1.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you're going to win either $250 or $1,000. So you don't hedge. I agree with you,
I don't
Mike.
hedge if it's, if it's your first time. Now, some places will let you go higher. My brother was just at Harris, Kansas City North, I think it's called. and they let you go up to $25 on the Fire Bet.
Oh, the maximum on the Fire Bet is higher. Yeah. 25 is the most we've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah.
But there the max is 25. So if you have a $25 Fire Bet, and you're gonna win, what would that be?
$25,000.
$25,000.
Yeah.
You might consider hedging like $3,000 or $4,000, right?
Sure.
It changes with what you got out there.
Yeah, changes with what you got out there, how much you play craps,
right,
and what you want to end up with.
Yeah, what you want to. I mean, if somebody said, "Well, you won't win 25, but you'll still win 20,000," I'd be pretty darn happy.
I think you'd be
right?
okay with that.
But if it's 1,500. That's a little different.
Sure.
I just go for the 1,000 and pray that they hit their number.
I would too. Yeah. I would too. All right. Well, we do have more calls, but boy, we're going on one of our longest episodes here, so we'll save them for next time. Hey, we want to thank some people for some PayPal donations. First of all, Frank, thank you very much. We appreciate the donation. Also a donation from Michael. Thank you very much. We also got a donation from Michael James. He said, I had bet on the Sockers, the San Diego Sockers, to win the indoor soccer league for you guys, but with no Vegas action, I had to book through Vinny Extra Sausage Battle of Monte. He's looking to collect from me now. Vinny he's got a Vegas Gone By segment on the Vegas Pride podcast. So I guess he's also a bookmaker too. So anyway, thank you, Michael, for that bet on the Sockers. Yeah, that's the one saving grace of San Diego sports, the San Diego Indoor Sockers.
San Diego Indoor Sockers, great.
That's right. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program to search through all the raw American TV data. Just go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and click on the link at the top that says TV listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. We tweet when we're heading to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. Dr. Mike?
It's baseball season, Mark.
Yes, I do.
God, I just love it. It's funny. We love craps, and, I bowl every week. I love bowling, and we love football. We love all sports, really. We like watching the NCAA basketball tournament and stuff like that. But there's something about baseball.
I know, yeah, baseball.
You know what it is I go home, I'm tired, I've been working all day, I've seen a gazillion patients, and I turn and baseball's on.
Every day it's on. Every day. I know.
Even the days when the Padres don't play, which is, maybe once out of every 10 days or something, there's another game on you can watch somewhere.
I know, it's great.
Yeah, it's
just to have it on.
It's a great thing. Yep. I love baseball. Too bad there's not like a craps
channel
or something where you can just put that on and play at home.
Craps is like baseball because in baseball it's like, okay, don't get out, keep hitting. How many runs are we going to score this inning? Keep going. It's just like that.
Yeah,
don't seven out, don't seven out. Keep going. Come on, that's great.
Oh gosh, I love baseball season. And once again, I want to say thanks to everybody who came out to the MGM National Harbor. And Kyle, he totally so underestimated his role.
On his show?
It was like, I had a pretty good role. It lasted a while. It was a great role. I don't know if it was a really good. It was two of the better roles back to back because you don't see that often.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It's so
we've
nice
had it
to
a
get
few
back to
times,
back,
and we've had some bigger roles, but usually it's one monster role, and then it's an hour of God, you know what? Every time we have a monster role, we're gonna color up and we're gonna leave.
All right, I've got this recorded. It's on the show, so I can always play this back for you.
I know you won't hold me to that, but some listener might. Probably Al from San Diego will hold me to that event.
Exactly. Yeah,
and so when he does, then I'm going to get up and walk away. Al, we're leaving.
All right, thanks for listening.
Good night.